Hey guys, Alex here. So today we're going to go over WGU and we're going to go over a free guide, which is the video. There's nothing to download. The guide is the video, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can get your WGU degree fast. Kind of like a all-in-one inclusive video, right? I've made videos like this in the past called Degree Hacking Bootcamp and things like that. So I would highly suggest going to watch that video as well. So this video will kind of dive in like how can you do this, like every possible little tip I can give you so you can graduate fast. So a lot of you are wondering, okay, I've heard of WGU, I've seen on Reddit, I've seen YouTubers say they can graduate with this degree fast and change their life. Like a real college degree, fully accredited, fully respected. So it draws a lot of people's interest to WGU, right? I'm sure I have drawn a lot of interest to WGU to many people. I've had thousands and thousands and thousands of people enroll in the school because of my own words and change their life because of my own review of the school. And a lot of people will see the Reddit posts where somebody graduated fast and they get their interest and their curiosity gets piqued. Another reason people enroll in WGU is the cost. Basically, if you qualify for financial aid, you might be out of pocket almost nothing regarding Western Governors University. So I'm going to go from the very beginning here. First, go to WGU and see what degree you want to do. There's plenty of degrees. There's business degrees, there's healthcare degrees, and there is tech degrees. I would personally recommend a tech degree, but you can do whatever degree you want. If you want to be a nurse, that one would be highly recommended as well. The pre-licensure registered nurse degree, which is a full-fledged BSN, but it's not available in every state, so check your state. So check which degree you want to do. I have tons of videos on college degrees on which ones make the most money, which ones have the most job growth. Yes, I do recommend picking a good college major. WGU has mostly good majors. So after you find a degree you want to do at WGU, I would actually advise not enrolling right away. You could enroll right away if you want, but what I would recommend is before you enroll, find a transfer spreadsheet. You can find some on my website, majormash.com. You can also use other resources as well. And then look for classes you can transfer into the degree. And this is one of the big cheat codes on how to graduate WGU fast. Because if you just enroll in WGU with no transfer credit, you're very likely not going to graduate in 1 or 2 or even 3 terms. It's probably going to take you 2+ years to get that college degree. So what a lot of people do is they use these ACE credit providers, which are study.com and other platforms like Sophia and Straighterline, etc. So a lot of people liked Sophia, and Sophia is a good platform, but study.com is now, it's the same price as Sophia with all the same courses. It's $95 a month, and you could do tons and tons of courses to transfer in. Study.com is the platform that I recommend. It has the most courses by far. There's a $95 plan and a $235 plan. The $235 plan has some upper level courses, and these courses are basically study.com exclusives. You can't do them anywhere else. So you do have to pay a little more money because of that exclusive aspect. And I would highly recommend doing those as well. Now, all in all, how much are you going to expect to spend on ACE credits? This is different for everybody. Myself, I probably took 6 months on ACE credits myself, but I was doing a couple different sites at the same time. I probably spent well over $1,000 if I remember correctly. Overall, if you're more efficient than me, you might get away with let's say you're using 2 platforms, right? Let's say you're on study.com maybe 5 of those months, right? And unfortunately, maybe 3 of those months you might need the 230 plan, which would probably put you close to $700, and then 2 months of the 95. That could push you close to $900. And then if you take a few of the math courses on Straighterline, which I recommend because I think math is easier there, at least for algebra, that is. At least for algebra and calculus, I think stats is totally fine on study.com. So if you do that, Straighterline would probably put you at another couple hundred. And then, yeah, you could probably get all this done for $1,100 or less, to be honest with you. That's probably about how much I spent. Although I've seen other people do this for even wildly cheaper. Like they get the whole thing done in a couple months. Now, I try to be really conservative on my estimates for you guys and my cost estimates. So if I'm telling you 6 months and like $1,100, some people can actually do it in 2-3 months for well under that cost. So it just depends. It's just different for everybody. Everybody has a different grind, a different approach to this. So how long you take with ACE credits is totally up to the individual. But overall, I don't think you should spend more. Like 7 months would be the absolute maximum on ACE credits. And probably like 5 to 6 months for sure you can get all the courses done if you're doing 3 hours a day on it. So once you get ACE credits, once you get all like the study.com courses passed and whatever ACE credit courses you're taking, once you get all of those passed, that's when you would apply to WGU. And if you're wondering what study.com courses to take, once again, go look at my website, majormash.com, or check out my phone app, UniBoost, and select a WGU college program. And once you select a program, either on Major Mash or my mobile app, it will show you exactly what courses you need to take at these platforms. So once you do that, you can basically take all these courses and then apply to WGU and transfer your study.com transcript or whatever other provider you have used, transfer the transcript to the school. Then they'll take like maybe 2-3 weeks at the most, and they will evaluate all of it. And then all of a sudden you will see that you have like 60 to 90 college credits transferred in. That simple. Yes. Once those are transferred, those count as college credits, which is amazing. This is a cheat code less than 1% of the population knows about. And I've been saying on my channel for a couple years now that I think these ACE credit providers, I think this method is going to be the new college method at some point. And even if it's not going to be the future, get in on the gold rush while you can. So it's either going to be the mainstream method at some point, or it's a gold rush that you should get in now before it's too late, basically. So I think it's going to be the new way. I think this will get more and more mainstream, and it will be the new college way. Everybody will know about college acceleration through ACE credits and through WGU, etc. And I think it'll be a super well-known thing among everybody. However, just in case it is a gold rush, though, I would highly take advantage of it while you can. So overall, this is one of the new ways to do college, accelerate college, and get a degree fast and get into the workforce fast. And if you think a WGU degree is not worth it or whatever, I would highly advise you to talk to other WGU grads and talk to people on LinkedIn. Like there's somebody in my WGU Facebook group, which I'll put in the description, which now has 5,000 members, and it's growing and growing and growing. So thank you guys so much for joining that group and being a part of it. Everybody's helping each other out in that group. So in that group, somebody just posted that they graduated with the WGU cybersecurity bachelor's degree and they got a job. They got a full-fledged cybersecurity analyst job. I've tried to ask him for an interview, and hopefully he'll agree to that at some point. But overall, like WGU degrees are very legitimate. You go on LinkedIn, and tons of people have jobs with WGU degrees, especially the tech degree and especially the nursing degree. I'm not sure I see as much success with the business degrees, but there is success with those as well. But with the tech degrees and the nursing degree, I see so many people with like software engineer jobs, data engineer jobs, even like tech leadership jobs, full RN job, like all kinds of great jobs that I see for WGU graduates. So after you transfer in these ACE credits, a lot of people are wondering, how do you do the WGU courses fast? So this will be the next chapter in this video. So the next thing is, how do you do WGU courses fast? And this is where a lot of people get stumped. They get to WGU and they try to do everything like reading the book, and they're like, how is everybody doing these courses so fast? How is everybody doing this degree so fast? Here is how you do this fast, okay, guys? Unless this is like something like math, I don't really recommend opening the textbook for anything. I never open the textbook, okay? And this doesn't go for just WGU. This goes for when I attended real college classes as well, okay? Textbooks are dry. They're boring. I feel like textbooks need to be like done away with completely, and there has to be like a fun style of learning. And I think that's why Ivy League colleges offer such a good education, is because the lectures are really top notch and the textbook is like not like totally necessary. So do not even open the textbook unless you really want to read it for some reason. All this is going to do is slow you down. It's basically, in my opinion, just designed to slow you down and stay at the school longer. And what you learn from the textbook, in my opinion, is like extremely minimal. I do not learn well from textbooks. I do not learn well from like reading the actual school's material. What I like to do here is, look, you're trying to get a piece of paper to get a job. Yes, this will come with basic skills from the degree, okay? But most of what you learn is going to be stuff you learn on your own and stuff that you learn on the job. And that goes for any degree in any school, right? Like I said, maybe Ivy League schools are different. Maybe like Harvard and like MIT, which is not technically an Ivy League school, but like those type of schools, yes, you might go into your first job like really good at what you do already. But for the most part, you learn most of your skills on the job, and you learn most of your skills on your own from experience of building your own projects, okay? School is mostly something that gives you basic skills for that field, basic skills for that job, and you use that piece of paper to qualify for a job and get a job, okay? You get a new grad position. So a lot of you don't seem to understand, like you think for your first job, you have to be like this really good, let's say for a tech degree, right? You think you have to be like this really good engineer already, this really good computer scientist already, this really good software engineer already on your first job. It's like, no, okay? That is called imposter syndrome. When you get your first new grad software engineer job, they're not really expecting you to know anything except very basic stuff, like just very basic stuff, okay? And they're going to teach you all you need to know on that job. And even bigger companies have this as well. Like Netflix, for example, right? They do hire, all these FANG companies will hire new grads. Usually you need a bachelor's and a master's in a tech discipline, computer science or software engineering. But if you had like a bachelor's and master's in computer science or software engineering, and it's your first job, they will hire you a lot of the times. If your application's good and you have some connections and things like that, you pass the interview process, which is really tough, they will hire you. And once you do that as a new grad and you don't have any experience, there's a training process. Like, for example, Netflix is really good at this. Out of the five FANG companies, from what I've heard, four of them are really good at this, especially Netflix, where they give you like a 6-month like training period where they don't give you much work to do yourself. You're kind of just learning. You do help out, you do code stuff, but overall, like you're learning and they're teaching you. And it's like a really extensive training period where you have training wheels on. So these companies are really good at this. Out of the 5 FANG companies, the only company that doesn't really do this, I've heard, is Amazon. And maybe somebody can fact check me if I'm wrong, but I've heard tons of people say Amazon is the one that will just throw new grads right into the fire, sink or swim. So, but overall, like a lot of these companies are very good at, giving training periods and teaching you once you get a job. And this goes for any industry. If you have no experience and you get a job, a company's not going to expect you to know something. They're going to train you. And that is why a college degree, it's important, but we mostly get a college degree to qualify for the jobs. To be honest with you guys, did I go to college for the skill set? Did I go to college to learn? Not necessarily, right? Like I already had programming skills. I already knew how to do all the things I know how to do before I went to college. Now, there are certain computer science aspects that I did learn in Study.com's computer science courses and WGU and TESU's computer science courses. There are things that hone my skills deeper, yes. I will say college will help you become a better engineer and a better computer scientist. However, a lot of these things I already did know, okay? So you go to college to get the paper to qualify for these jobs, because every single job you're going to look at in the tech sector is going to say bachelor degree, computer science, or information technology, or whatever. You can't even get a lot of these jobs without a bachelor degree. They will not even look at your resume. It's the same thing for being a nurse, right? You need at least an associate of science in nursing with an RN license to qualify for these jobs. An accountant, right? A lot of these jobs need a bachelor's in accounting to qualify for accounting jobs. To get a CPA license, you need a bachelor's in accounting. and 150 total credits. So you need these type of degrees to qualify for these jobs. Yes, they help your skills and they help you build that basic skill set. But overall, like, we go to college to get the paper to qualify for the jobs. That's why I went to college. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I went to college to get the paper, to qualify for the jobs, etc. Okay, and also just basically, I didn't want to leave this life at some point without a college degree. It's a massive achievement, right? You can tell your kids you got a college degree. You can tell your grandkids you got a college degree. And that'll likely make them want to go to college as well, to follow in their parents' footsteps and their grandparents' footsteps, etc. Right? So I'm a first generation college student. My parents did not graduate college, and I'm very proud of that aspect. And you guys can do the same as well. Okay? Most people follow in their parents' footsteps. Most parents who do not graduate college, their kid actually usually never graduates college either. And also for parents who did graduate college, most of the time, their kids also graduate college. So it's like a lot of times you follow whatever your parent did, right? So, but you can break the cycle. If your parents did not graduate college, you 100% can graduate college. I've done it. I have a bachelor's degree from Thomas Edison State University in computer science, and I just recently graduated with a master's degree in software engineering from Western Governors University, and I may walk the stage in a couple weeks. I'm still kind of undecided if I want to go to Chicago and walk the stage, but I do have my tickets ready and things like that. But overall, I don't want to get too off topic here. The way you pass the WGU courses is by not looking too much at the textbook, okay? What you need to do is do everything open book. Take the essays open book. So what I'm saying is with the essays, just start writing, okay? Just start writing. And things you don't know, Google it. Google what you don't know, okay? Like, take the essay open book. Write as you're learning, you know? You do not need to learn the textbook. You do not need to like overly learn the material before you write an essay. Take the essay open book. Start writing. If you don't know how to answer something, if you don't know the answer, then Google it. You know, take it open book, do it open book. A lot of people doing the WGU essay courses and the project courses usually usually pass these courses within a week because they're not just sitting there reading the material for weeks on weeks. They're taking it open book. Also, the material, if you really need to learn something at WGU, I would recommend like doing it on YouTube. I think it's much more efficient to learn on YouTube or somewhere else than learn it at the actual college. And that's not a knock on WGU. It's just in this day and age, a lot of college sources, a lot of college material, especially online colleges, the material can be kind of outdated and sometimes there's like no professor aspect. So what you want to do is go on YouTube and actually look at a lecture or look at somebody teaching it. And that's the way I learn. I'd rather listen to some like normal guy on YouTube or normal girl on YouTube that already has experience in the subject and is just kind of like teaching it from a non-school perspective. That helps me learn quite a bit. So just like a normal human to human aspect. So that's the kind of thing I learn from, and it really helps me learn. So your goal to each class shouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm going to learn this like the back of my head. That should not be the goal of every class if you want to get a degree fast and cheap. If you want a degree fast and cheap, your goal should be, how do I pass this class very fast? Okay? Not how do I learn as much as I can from this course. You're still going to learn from the course. You're still going to learn from the degree. Okay? But most of what you learn is going to be on the job, and you want to go in passing the class as fast as possible, at least if you're trying to graduate fast. If you're not trying to graduate fast, then, you know, the whole point of this video, you know, there might not be a point of you watching this video. Now, for the OA classes, you do need to study, obviously, but there are other ways you can study. You can go watch my other videos. I have WGU acceleration tactics. I have WGU cheat codes. I have WGU how to accelerate. I have quite a few videos on that. I have a WGU OA video as well. So, and I will probably make updates of all those videos eventually. But the OA, I still would not recommend much of the textbook. I would recommend if they have videos, if they have cohorts, watch that. Also find YouTube material and also the practice assessment. So take the practice assessment right away. Don't wait. Your mentor might say, wait. I don't recommend waiting. I recommend you taking it right away. But don't look up the answers. Take it like a real test, take it right away. Odds are, if you're not familiar with the subject, you're probably going to like get 40 to 50% on the test, right? You're not going to do very well. So the 40% you passed, you can probably just leave that alone. And then the other 60%, you want to study really heavily. So study the question, like whatever category the question belongs to, and whatever category all 4 categories belong to, study all of it. And this might take you like a full 10 days or so, but study everything that's on that practice assessment. Like the entire categories of each question. The entire categories of each question, master those categories. So you might have to look over the textbook to reference these categories and study all the key terms and all the key words in these categories, okay? And sometimes just studying key terms is not enough. And that's why I would go on Reddit to also look at OA advice, okay? Reddit is huge for the project courses and the OA courses. For the OA courses, it's going to tell you exactly what to study. You can find some Reddit threads on that. And for the project courses and like the tech classes, it's going to tell you exactly how to pass those. So Reddit is extremely useful for both of these types of courses, OA and technical projects. So use Reddit, see how they did it, and you'll be able to pass the class much more efficiently. Basically, networking is one of the easiest ways you will pass this degree, okay? Network. Ask people how they passed it. Look on Reddit threads how people passed it. You can go on the Facebook groups and ask for advice. Like I have WGU Degree Hacking, right? There's other WGU Facebook groups as well. There's so many resources where you can connect with people. You can message random people on LinkedIn that have a WGU degree and ask them how they passed a certain course. Hey, I'm stuck on this, etc. I actually asked for help in my WGU software engineering degree. I actually messaged somebody during the software quality and assurance class. I'm like, for task 3, I do not know how to run the pipeline. Like I am so lost. And then somebody showed me how to run the pipeline. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So just ask for help. I actually think when it comes to these online schools, asking for other students' help is better than asking for the course instructor or professor's help. For the course instructor and professor, sometimes they don't get back right away. And sometimes they're not going to give you sometimes it's going to be like a cookie cutter answer. Whereas another student who's already taken the course is actually going to give you really useful information. So I would really recommend networking with this degree and taking it seriously. Find every Reddit thread you can possibly find on every class in the degree. You might find some really useful information. Overall, like I said, the textbook, for essay classes especially, you can just kind of skip it. Do everything open book, and you can get this degree really fast. I graduated my WGU master's degree in 1 term. I did it in 2 months and 1 week, actually. So 2 months and 1 week. I never opened the textbook except for 1 course, and that was like very minimal, okay? As for my bachelor's, I got my bachelor's done famously in like 12 to 13 months, and I drew a lot of people to this field of degree hacking. I drew a lot of people to this field of graduating college fast and affordable, okay? And I'm proud of that. I'm proud I've helped so many people discover this. I'm proud that I've helped so many people and changed their life to get a college degree fast, affordable. We're talking 12 months here for a lot of people and under 10 grand total for a lot of people, which is insane for a college degree. College degrees are like 35 grand state schools and like 70 grand for regular schools. So getting one for 10 grand or less is literally amazing. So I want everybody to get a college degree and change their life and get their dream job, right? And I would love to make more videos on how you can achieve that job as well, and also interview a lot of successful college students, especially ones from Western Governors University, and show you guys that this degree will get you real jobs and it will get you, a real career change. And you can stop living paycheck to paycheck. I lived paycheck 10 years of my life. It was not fun. Always under stress. Always thinking, oh my God, if I lose my income, I'm screwed. I don't want you guys to go through that stress. You should have at least a somewhat comfortable savings, and you should have a job that respects you and have a job that gives you a good wage. So I want you guys to all be successful. This is Alex. I hope this video helped you. This was kind of a spur of the moment video, not exactly planned out. And I just kind of went with it. None of my videos are scripted, and all of my videos I feel like you can learn something from. And this video, if you watched it start to finish, it should give you a lot better general idea of how to complete a WGU degree fast. Like if you watch this video start to finish, there should be no questions of like, how do I do it? How do I do a WGU degree fast? Everything in this video is honestly covered start to finish. Now, obviously I could dive deeper into it, which I have in other videos, but like surface level, at least, like this is covered start to finish on how you can graduate fast, going from ACE credits to WGU courses themselves to getting your degree. So I know you guys can accomplish it. I believe in you guys very much. And if you need any help, leave a comment down below. If you guys can leave a comment down below and like the video for the algorithm, I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you do need help, you can comment and I will do my best to reply to you. Also, there have been a couple of you that have emailed me or LinkedIn messaged me. I have been totally swamped lately, and I apologize if I have not gotten back to you, okay? You have to realize I get dozens and dozens of messages, emails. Like I can't reply to all of them. Like I said, I am busy with so many things lately. I want to help you, okay? I want to help everybody. So if I have not replied to you, please don't take it personally. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. This is Alex signing out.